I don't know why many people don't talk about emotional cleansing, because emotional cleansing is the most fundamental part when it comes to manifestation, right? So this video will serve as a complete guide, like it is a complete masterclass on emotional cleansing, like why it is so important, why is it crucial to manifest your grandest, your biggest desires, and how to exactly do it, right? So let me first talk about why is it so important and why you need to watch this video till the end. So when it comes to manifestation, when it comes to manifestation, when we think in first principles, there are two categories when it comes to manifestation. The first category is creation or alignment or imagination. And the second category is releasing, right? Majoritively, in many manifestation communities or in this YouTube space, most people, I mean 99% of people, only talk about the creation aspect of manifestation. They don't talk about the releasing aspect of manifestation. So in the creation aspect of manifestation, there is affirmations, there is visualizations, there is scripting, there is intention setting, sats. So most people talk about techniques, most people talk about the creation aspect of manifestation, right? And when it comes to releasing, there is letting go or there is emotional cleansing, right? So both categories of manifestation are crucial in your manifestation journey, right? Whatever desire you have, whatever you want to manifest in your physical reality, you need to release those old negative patterns, those deep seated, embedded negative emotions that you have been suppressed all your life. You need to release it before you can add on top of things that you already have within you, right? When it comes to creation aspect of manifestation, you add on things, right? You don't subtract. So creation is like addition, and releasing is like subtraction, right? When you release certain emotions, when you release certain feelings, you subtract them from your psyche. And when you add like affirmations or visualizations, whatever technique you use to create an imaginary scene, to create a feeling of you already having a desire, that is you adding on top of things, right? But you can't build a house on sand, do you? You can't build a house on sand. You can't be in the state of wish fulfilled if you are in the state of not fulfilled, right? So you need to release those negative patterns, those negative emotions embedded into your subconscious mind before you add on top of things, right? Either you can do this simultaneously or you can do it separately, right? That's up to your choice. I leave it up to you. This is why emotional cleansing is so important, right? So for example, let's say, like, imagine your life is the sun, right? And this sun represents abundance, bliss, right? Right? The moment you are born, you are born as a powerful being. You are born with abundance, you are born with prosperity, you are born with bliss. You're supposed to lead an abundant life, you're supposed to lead a prosperous life, but you can't do it because you have been imposed, because limitations have been imposed upon you. And these limitations were imposed upon you through conditioning, through programming, by your parents, by your teachers, by the society, by your friends, by your neighborhood. And as you grow, you yourself impose limitations upon you. So your natural state gets literally clouded by clouds, right? But you still have access to this powerful being. You still have access to the power of how you can create your life. You are the creator of your life, but you can't tap into that power because these clouds, which is these negative patterns, these negative programming that are disguised as emotions, have been deeply embedded within you, within your subconscious mind. So until or unless you release these emotions that has been messing up your life, that has been ruining your life, that has been keeping you stuck with poverty, that has been keeping you stuck with lack of money, lack of love, lack of relationships, lack of health, whatever struggle you have right now, it is only because of these deeply embedded negative emotions, right? When you release one negative emotion, you release thousands or even tens of thousands of thoughts, right? You may be struggling with guilt, shame, apathy, all of these negative emotions you have been going through with your entire life. And if you don't figure it out like how to release it, how to let go of it, none of the creation aspect of manifestation matters. You can't you can't put anything good on top of shit. If a cup of milk is rotten, how much ever pure milk you pour into it, that good milk will also be rotten, because you can't put anything good on top of shit, right? Crap is crap. If you have if you have negative emotions deeply embedded within you, how much ever scripting, how much visualization, how much of affirmation is not going to work, right? So it is very much important that, like, yeah, creation aspect of manifestation is very important. Like 70% of videos talk about creation aspect of manifestation, but the releasing aspect of manifestation, emotional cleansing, is the most important, is equally or if not even more important than the creation aspect, than the alignment aspect, right? You being consistent in affirming, you being consistent in visualizing, you being consistent in scripting, you feeling like, yeah, I'm not saying you can't access those higher states while prioritizing the creation aspect of manifestation. You can access higher states, you can feel like how you would feel if you already have your desire, but you can't sustain that emotion, you can't sustain the state of being in the wish fulfilled if you keep having these negative thoughts, these negative emotions holding you back, keeping you stuck, keeping you chained to your old reality. And that is why it is important that you do emotional cleansing. You learn about how to cleanse your emotions, how to clear your emotions, how to let go of your emotions. Because these negative emotions are literally ruining your life. It can be uncomfortable to face these emotions. This can be uncomfortable to go through these emotions. But you have to confront them. You have to confront them, you need to feel them, and you need to let go of them. Until unless you do this, you will keep struggling to manifest. Right? So the goal of cleansing is to go back to your radiant self, to go back to your abundant self, right? Like even if you don't prioritize the creation aspect, you still manifest. You manifest every day, you manifest every second. And if you're not plagued by negative emotions, if you're not emitting these negative emotions every day, and even if you remain neutral, you will lean to more positive states naturally, right? Let me talk about one more important aspect when it comes to emotions, right? Your emotional signature determines your trajectory of life, right? So if you have been emitting worry, lack, stress, envy, apathy all your life, like for example, if you have been emitting worry throughout the day, like either if you do it consciously or unconsciously or subconsciously, that is your energetic signature, that is your emotional signature. Because what is an emotion? Emotion is just energy, and guess what is made up of energy? You are made up of energy. I am made up of energy. This entire universe is made up of energy. So if you're emitting an energetic signature that represents worry, the universe sees it, because the universe is a mirror, right? And it wants to sustain your energetic signature. It wants to sustain and multiply your energetic signature, because the universe likes homeostasis. The universe likes things to stay at the same place, even if it costs you your own life, even if it costs you like your happiness, your joyfulness. The universe doesn't care what you actually want, it only cares about your emotions. So if you've been emitting worry, like if you do it consciously or subconsciously, the universe doesn't care. It sees that you have been emitting worry, and it creates more circumstances, more situations, more things, and it sends it your way so that you become more worried, right? So let's say you have been struggling for money and you keep worrying about your bills, right? You keep worrying about your bills, and the universe sees that. And when the universe sees that, it thinks, okay, this guy has worry. Let me give more worry for them. Because whatever you have, you shall receive more by the universe. But let's say you have been joyful. Let's say you have been secure, right? Because Irrespective of what your external circumstance may be, you have the power to control your internal state. You have the power to change the state you're feeling. You can change from worry to joy. You can change from anxiousness to being brave, to being secure, to being certain. You have that power, but you don't tap into it because you fall victim to your 3D reality. You let 3D reality make you react. You let 3D reality to control your emotions. And when you let your 3D reality control your emotions, the universe sees what you have been emitting and it gives more situations and more circumstances to keep you in that state and multiply that state within you. So if you're worried, more worry will be on to you. If you're stressed, more stress will be on to you. I hope I have given you a clear picture on why emotional cleansing is important, right? It is the most important practice you can do in your entire life, even if you're not a person who's into manifesting, who's into reality creation. Emotional cleansing is still very much important because your emotions do literally rule your life scientifically and metaphysically, right? So let's actually start how to you how to emotionally cleanse yourself, how to be free of all negative patterns, of all negative emotions, so that you can be your true self, which is your abundant and prosperous self, right? So let's take any topic. So I want you to remember this scale, right? If you haven't been taking notes, then I want you to take notes, because from now on we are getting into the good stuff. We are getting into the meat of this video, right? So I want you to remember the scale and I want you to note it down. So take any life topic that you have. It can be money, it can be love, it can be any problem that you're currently facing. And once you have that problem in mind, I want you to go through this scale. Now, this is the resistance and acceptance scale, right? So, for example, let's say you have been struggling for money and you want to make $10,000 a month, right? So, the feeling that you are struggling for money, how do you rank it in the scale, right? So when it comes to the matters of money, when it comes to your finances, do you feel completely overwhelmed, or do you feel sick with rage and anger, or can you not stand it when it comes to money, or like you don't want the situation, period? Or do you think like I prefer not to have it, or it can be I can deal with it, but it would be nice if it wasn't there? Or are you in the attitude of like I am okay with it but not totally accepting it, or I sometimes accept it, or I can accept it, I am accepting it? And finally, there is the state where you fully appreciate on how you feel and about the current situation, right? So whatever problem, whatever feeling you have towards a particular situation or a particular problem you have, I want you to put this into scale so that you can first be aware of where you currently stand. It is completely okay if you're feeling overwhelmed. It is also completely okay if you fully appreciate how you feel. But most of you who are watching this video, I'm sure you will not be in this state, because if you were already appreciating all the things that has been happening in your life, you wouldn't need this video, honestly, right? So this is the scale I want you to remember throughout this video and throughout your emotional cleansing practice, right? Because once I start going deep into the practices of emotional cleansing, I want you to first of all rank your current emotion, how you feel, on how you feel about your current situation. Like, it can be about money, it can be about your love, it can be about anything, right? It can be literally about anything that bothers you. You can put it inside the scale and rank it, right? So before doing this emotional cleansing practice, you rank it and you put it on the scale. And after you do the emotional cleansing practice, I again want you to rank it. And I'm sure, like, for example, let's say you are in the 9, where you're sick with rage and hatred when it comes to your situation on money, right? So when you after you do that practice, you come to like 6 or 5 or even 4, right? And if you keep doing this, the practices that I give you in this video, again and again and again, until there's nothing left to feel, and only thing that is left to feel is appreciation, you come to 1, right? So the goal of this practice, the goal of emotion cleansing, is to go from complete overwhelm to fully appreciating on how you feel about a particular situation, right? You appreciate that bills are piling up, you appreciate that things are not going your way, because everything that's happening in your life, believe it or not, it is for your highest good. Because first of all, you have been creating your reality, right? Like, the universe is not out to get you. Your life, fate, God, no one has anything against you. It is only you against you, right? You are the one creating your reality. So when you appreciate the things that are happening in your life, and if you feel gratitude for all the good things or even the bad things that is happening in your life, more good things will be onto you, right? Because take any like heartbreaking experience that you have experienced in life. Like, it can be rejection, it can be whatever traumatic incident, or like, I'm not saying for everyone, but for me personally, all the major negative things that has happened in my life, I feel grateful for it, because I would not be where I am today if not for those negative experiences that has happened in the past, right? So in order for that problem that you're facing, for it to quickly dissolve it, right, for you to dissolve your problem quickly, you need to appreciate that problem. You need to appreciate on how you feel. Like, if you feel overwhelmed, if you feel sadness, if you feel hatred, if you feel like, if you feel good about the problem, it will dissolve. So write down the scale and use the scale for every problem, every situation you're facing in your life. And once you do the practices that I give you in this video, again go back to the scale and rank that particular topic again. And you are not allowed to work on 2 or 3 topics at once, right? For example, if you want to release your situation on how you feel about your money matters, like if you have been struggling for finance and you feel completely overwhelmed by it, right? You choose that one topic and you rank this on the scale, and you do the practices until you reach the lower end of the scale, right? So until you reach like a 3 or a 2, you're not allowed to change the topic. You're not allowed to work on multiple topics simultaneously, because it doesn't work that way, right? Like, it becomes more complex, it becomes more like, your mind likes to be distracted, your mind likes to be like, it likes to deviate from the thing you're focused on, right? So if you give it more topics to work on, your attention will get diffused, your attention will get deviated on multiple topics, and that is not powerful enough, right? So you're only allowed to work on one topic at a time. And once you fully release about like about all the negative emotions that you feel about a particular topic, only then you're allowed to move on to another topic, right? So for example, let's say you want to dissolve your negative emotions about matters around money, and you also want to dissolve negative emotions when it comes to your health. Pick one, release all negative emotions, all negative feelings you associate with one problem or one situation. And once you fully dissolve and you emotionally cleanse yourself from that one, like let's say money, only then you're allowed to move on to another topic of your life, right? So I want you to remember the scale, and let me move on. So once you pick a topic and rank it on the scale, I want you to go through these questions. The first question is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you resist or accept the issue you're currently facing? Next is, what would have to happen so that you can fully appreciate it? And next, take the topic through the entire scale and feel them, right? So let's say you have been struggling for money, like I know I'm taking the same example, but that is the very thing that many people struggle upon, right? So let's take the money example, and let's say you let's say when it comes to your money issues, you ranked that issue on a level 9, right? You ranked it on level 9. Now I want you to go through the entire list, the entire scale, and I want you to feel on how you would feel if you were in that particular level. For example, level 10 is you completely being overwhelmed, right? So how you would feel if you were completely overwhelmed? And level 1 is you fully appreciating that particular issue, or like how you feel about that issue, right? So how you would feel if you fully appreciated the issue? So go through the entire scale, and on each level I want you to feel like how you would feel if you were in that level, right? And the last question is, what would and the last question is, what would it feel like if you fully appreciated this particular issue, or your feeling about that issue? And what do you appreciate about it? So I want you to breathe with these questions, think about these questions, and imagine, use your imagination. Like, what would have to happen if I want to fully appreciate the current issue, right? And close your eyes and let yourself imagine, let your mind go wild, right? Because any question you ask to your mind, it has to give an answer, right? If you ask yourself, why am I so rich? Why do I never have a problem around love? Why do I never have a problem around money? Why am I so successful? Right? These are the type of affirmations that I love the most. I don't like state like I don't like affirmations that are mere statements like I am rich, I am loved. I don't like this. I like to ask questions to my mind so that my mind automatically answers to me, right? Or even if it doesn't answer to me, your subconscious has an easier time accepting these questions rather than statements, right? So you can say, why am I so loved? Why am I so successful? Right? Because, and if you don't know the answer, like for example, many people say, I don't know why, but I'm always unlucky. If you don't know for a particular, if you don't know the reason for a particular issue in your life, that gives the universe more power. Because you think, because you think that you don't have control over it, right? So when you do the opposite and you say, I don't know why I'm so successful, or if you ask the question, why am I so successful? Why is success so easy for me? And if you don't know the answer, then that is you giving more power to the universe, because you don't have control over it. You can't help but be successful. You can't help but be loved. You can't help but be rich. You can't help but be abundant, right? So that is a powerful way on how you can use affirmations. Like, okay, I will stop deviating from the topic. So the last question is, what would it feel like if you fully appreciated this issue, or the feeling you have about that issue? And what do you appreciate about it? So I want you to think about this question, and I want you to answer all of these questions and do the exercises as well, right? So the purpose of the exercise is to get familiar with how you feel, right? Because most of the time you're not even aware of how you feel. Whatever issue you go through in life, first of all, you need to be aware of how you feel so that you can change how you feel about that particular issue. If you're not even aware of like what is the feeling you have on a particular topic, how the hell can you even change it or even attempt to change it? You can't change it, right? So it is very much important you get familiar about your own feelings about your life topics, and that is the purpose of this exercise. And also by doing this exercise, you come to know like how you can change your attitude, how you can change your energy levels, how you can change your emotions, right? And you also come to know like you can learn to discern different levels of energy, different levels of emotions, right? Like you can feel like how you would feel if you were completely overwhelmed, and you can also practice the feeling of appreciation towards a particular issue. So when you do this resistance and acceptance scale exercise and you go through these questions, you will learn to see the difference between each level, so that accessing the lower levels, like accessing the level 2, 1, 2, or 3, like accessing those lower levels from those higher levels becomes much more easier for you, right? So it's a very important exercise. I want you to do it. Pause this video, do it, and then come back. So now let's come to the crux of this video, right? So let me give you the basic emotional clearing practice that I do regularly to cleanse my emotions, right? So here's how you go about it. So take any emotion or any feeling, right? So you notice an emotion that you want to release. And once you do it, I want you to feel it completely. Oh shit. Without any intention. I want you to feel that emotion for the sake of feeling it, right? And once you start feeling that emotion completely, you allow that particular emotion to run out no matter how long it takes, right? Emotions are just energy. If you focus on it and if you let yourself feel it completely, that energy will dissipate and you can let go of it easily. That's it. That's the technique. It can't be more simple than this. It can't be more easier than this. And I get it. Sometimes facing your emotions can be hard, it can be uncomfortable. But let me ask you, are you going to stay within your comfort zone and ruin your life, or you get out of your comfort zone, or you get out of your comfort zone and face your emotions, confront your emotions, and cleanse those emotions and replace them with more positive states that can lead you to your desired reality? The desired reality where you have abundance of money, abundance of love, abundance of health. And the first step for that is you cleansing your emotions through this basic emotional clearing practice. This is very similar to David Hawkins' letting go technique, right? So that is it is as simple as that, right? So to feel more, like if you want to quicken this process and you want to feel more of this emotion so that it quickly runs out, right? So you can do left nostril breathing. So to feel more, you can do left nostril breathing. You can do stomach breathing. You can lovingly put your hand on your heart. So if you want to quicken this process and if you want to feel more of the negative emotion so that negative emotion gets runs out, it gets dissipates quickly, the first thing you can do is less nostril breathing. So you cover one side of the nose and you breathe through it, and you change to the other side of the nose and you hold it, and doing that will let yourself feel more of that particular emotion. And the next is you can use your stomach to breathe more deeply, right? It is self-explanatory. Like you breathe in, you shrink your stomach, like you hold your stomach, you shrink it, you tighten up your stomach, you tighten up your pelvis region, and that lets you feel more of the emotion because you can deep more because you can breathe more deeply, and breathing more deeply lets you feel that particular emotion more deeply as well. And finally, you can lovingly put your hand, it can be a left hand or a right hand, but whatever hand suits you, you can lovingly put your hand on your heart and let yourself feel that emotion. This is you concerning yourself. This is you telling yourself symbolically that it is okay to feel this way, right? The thing you need to know is emotions are just energy. Without those negative labels or even positive labels, emotions are just mere energy, which can be released, which can be dissipated from your body, right? So whatever emotion you face, stop labeling it. Stop labeling it as guilt, as shame, as apathy, as jealousy, as anger, as stress. Just notice that sensation within your body and let yourself feel that sensation, and it will dissipate, right? You not wanting to feel shameful, you not wanting to feel guilty, you not wanting to feel anger or apathy, that in itself embeds or suppresses that emotion within your subconscious mind. So don't show any resistance. In this technique, there's no resistance, right? You allow yourself to you allow yourself to feel that emotion completely without any resistance, right? Many people don't do this because they think feeling this emotion is weak, feeling those emotions is uncomfortable, feeling those emotions is not a manly thing to do, it is not a masculine thing to do. Like many men face this. Many men are not in touch of their emotions because they think it is weak. They think it is feminine to feel your emotions. Like, are you guys crazy? Like, if you're a person who thinks this is feminine, then please unsubscribe and go get lost, because I have no tolerance for those type of people with those ideas as well. I have zero tolerance for those ideas, because we are humans, we are allowed to feel emotions. And it is our responsibility to get in touch with our emotions, because if we don't, those emotions will literally rule our life and we will call it fate. Right? So no resistance, only feeling, only allowing. You allow it, you allow your emotion, and you feel it and you let it go. As simple as that. So we have come to the final part of this training. So let me now cover on what topics can you use emotional cleansing for. So you can use this for anything that bothers you. You can use this for compulsions, addictions, impulses. Generally, for compulsions, addictions, or impulses, it takes more than one session. It takes more than one emotional cleansing session for you to fully release those addictions, for you to fully release your impulses, right? One of the major things that, one of the major reasons that many people go wrong when it comes to releasing their emotions is they think that just by them focusing on their emotion for one day or like for 1 hour, they think that years or even decades of suppressed emotions should vanish, like literally. It doesn't happen that way, right? So how much ever days it takes, how much ever weeks it takes, how much ever hour it takes, sometimes even if like you had a traumatic even if you had a traumatic incident, you can fully release that emotion in like an hour or 2 hours. But sometimes it may take some time, it may take like 2 days or 3 days, but you need to be persistent about it. You need to be consistent and persistent in releasing those particular emotions, right? So don't keep a time frame on how long it will take for you to fully release an emotion, because nobody knows, right? You also don't know how long it will take. So the only job for you is to keep feeling that emotion again and again and again until it completely runs out, right? You can do it like in separate sessions, or you can do it like, you can do it for the whole day. You can systemize it, you can do it like, you can systemize it on however way you want, but the most important factor is you feel it, and you feel it until it runs out completely. You can do this for things you feel unpleasant about. You can do this for emotions like guilt, shame, anger, apathy, any negative emotion. You can do this for any rejection you faced. You can do this for like any time pressure, like if there's a deadline to meet, and if you worry about that particular deadline, you can release that particular emotion. You can release performance pressure. You can release lack of discipline. You can release any failure that you met. You can release lack of money. So I kept on talking and I didn't realize that my recording just got stopped. So so but thankfully I covered the most important parts of this video. And as I was saying, you can literally release anything that is bothering you, right? Anything, any situation, any event, any circumstance that is bothering you, you can release it, right? So after each emotional clearing session, what I was talking about in deeply was you need to follow up with the creation aspect of manifestation. This can be you visualizing, this can be you affirming, this can be you scripting, because you just had an intense emotional experience where you extensively focused on negativity, right? And you reduced it by allowing yourself feel the negativity. But after those emotional clearing sessions, there is a void created inside of you, right? So we need to fill that void, right? The entire reason we do this is because we need to clear all the baggage you have been holding on for all your months or decades of your life. So once that void is formed, we want to fill it with more positive states, and those positive states will lead you to your desired reality. So anything, any technique that lets you tap into the wish fulfilled and be in a state of wish fulfilled and be in the feeling on how you would feel if you already had that desire, do that technique, do that practice. This can be visualization, this can be affirming, this can be anything. Anything that lets you be in the state of wish fulfilled, you do it, right? So that is what I was been talking about. And one thing I want you to notice, some negative emotions takes longer for dissipate. Some negative emotions takes longer to dissipate. So I want you to keep this reminder that not all negative emotions are the same, and sometimes it can take longer. Like for one negative emotion, you might it might run out completely within an hour of feeling, but some other emotions might take 2 days or even 4 days of you continuously feeling that emotion again and again whenever it pops up. So don't keep a specified time frame for you to release any particular emotion, because not all emotions are the same. So don't keep any time frame for you to release it. It takes how much ever longer it takes, right? So don't have any expectation like I will release this particular emotion of guilt in an hour. It doesn't work that way, right? So don't have any time frame, don't have any, like, have patience. Like, don't be impatient about you wanting to release that particular emotion, because it doesn't work that way. Like, let me tell you, no resistance is required for this practice. No resistance, being in no resistance is absolutely necessary for this practice, right? All you do is allow that emotion to pop up, and you feel it whenever it pops up, how much of times it pops up, and you be patient, not be impatient, and let yourself feel that emotion completely. And that is how you let that emotion run out. But if you show even a little bit of resistance, that emotion will still be embedded within your subconscious mind. So that's it from me. If you want to work with me personally and talk to me about your problems, about your own situation, so that's it from me. If you want to work with me personally, then check out the link in the description, where I get to talk to you, I get to know you, I get to know your problems, I get to know what are your subconscious blocks, and I can give you specific advice, specific protocols tailored to your own situation. And that is 100 times more powerful than any number of videos that you see on YouTube. Because let me be honest, not all videos are going to work for you. Like, you need specificity, you need specific advice, you need specific protocols tailored to your own situation, to your own desires. So if you want to work with me, check out the check out the link in the description and book a call. It's free of course. It is very much free for you to talk to me, and I will clear all your doubts, all your worries in that call. Or if you want to keep watching these videos, you're welcome to it. Binge watch it, because these videos are still tremendously valuable, right? So that's it from me. I will see you in another video.